What's up guys, this is your coach Marwan from Marwan Killer Fitness. Today's video we're going to talk about 3 easy ways to lose belly fat fast, and you can start today. Before we do, I'd like to give you guys a free gift. I want to teach you how to increase your testosterone and growth hormone levels naturally by eating those specific foods. After watching this video, if you go to the description box and where it says download your free report, click on the link, it'll take you to a download page where I need your name and email address, and then I'll send you a free gift. So you all know about the benefits of testosterone, increased muscle mass, lower body fat, and more performance in the bedroom. I don't need to tell you all about that. Again, I want to teach you guys how to increase those levels naturally without any supplements, without anything else, and you can download it after watching this video. Completely free. So what ways can we use today to increase belly fat loss fast? So number one is increase insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity. So insulin sensitivity refers to how efficient the body sorry about my handwriting there. If the writing is not big enough, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write it in the description box so you guys can see it easily. How efficiently, oops, spelled the B with a D. How efficiently the body utilizes carbs. So we got two types of people. We got the people who are insulin sensitive, and B, people who are insulin resistant. So insulin sensitive people, the ones that got more stable blood sugar, and they're able to tolerate high amounts of carbohydrates in their diet because their body is efficient at utilizing carbohydrates. It gets easily to their brain and to their cells, and they can access their fat stores a lot easier, so they're prone to hunger strikes. The insulin resistant people, however, are the complete opposite. So they have glucose floating around in the blood because it's unable to get to the cell. In every cell in the body, or rather some cells, the cells on the body that got insulin receptors, usually the GLUT4 receptors become resistant to insulin because of the abuse over the years. So what happens when they become insulin resistant is that the blood is floating around in their bloodstream and not getting to the cells because the cells cannot detect insulin anymore. Typically what happens, I'll draw a little diagram for you guys. When they eat got 2 pens, I'll draw the diagram. They release high amounts of insulin after eating, and they have a higher basal rate of insulin whilst they're not eating. So if we do the, where are we? So if we do when the blue would do the insulin sensitive people, so insulin sensitive, this is their kind of basal, so insulin. So basal, it means basically the resting level. So what happens if you take this as your insulin levels, what happens when you eat a meal? Your body will start releasing insulin in regards to a meal, and it depends on how insulin sensitive you are. It can be different amounts. The release is different according to the size of the meal, okay, and how insulin sensitive you are, and then eventually it'll start coming down to normal levels. The insulin resistant people, however, will have a higher basal rate of insulin. So again, basal insulin. So their response to blood glucose levels might be something like this. okay, and then they'll start coming down. So their response might be prolonged because they're insulin resistant and insulin doesn't get to their cells easily. All right, so we talked about the characteristics of these people. The insulin resistant, you most likely see these guys with pot bellies and flat back sides rather than pear-shaped. So these guys will have high triglyceride levels, blood pressure. They'll have unfavourable cholesterol ratios. So the difference between the HDL, they'll probably have higher LDL, which is low density lipoprotein, rather than HDL, which is the high density lipoprotein. So then after, when you have insulin resistance, you start to develop diabetes and all sorts of other illnesses, but that's beyond the scope of this video. So we said that the glucose will remain in the blood because it's incapable of detecting the cells are, the receptors are incapable of detecting the glucose, so it's unable to get into the cells. And this is most likely in the GLUT4 receptors rather than the brain. So what ways can we do to increase insulin sensitivity? So ways to increase insulin sensitivity. So ways to increase insulin sensitivity is way A, utilize fats. Utilize fats for energy. So I'll talk about this, or rather I teach you guys this in my Fit and Lean Dad Fat Loss ebook. Basically, the first meal in the morning determines whether you're going to use fats for energy or carbs for energy. So what I mean by fats for energy is for tasks that don't need carbs, such as walking in the street, standing up, washing the dishes, watching TV, sitting on the computer, driving, that kind of thing. After an 8-hour fast, or 7 or 6 hours when you sleep, your growth hormone levels are the highest. And therefore, whenever you have carbs, then you start to utilize the fat burning stops and you use carbs for energy. And that first meal will determine what micronutrients you use for energy. Number 2 is to, where are we? So the way to use the fat is to utilize, or rather use fats, use carbs around work out. So use the carbs in and around your workout. Do you really need carbs first thing in the morning after waking up? Not really. The way that I use my carbs is I work out in the morning, so I have fats for energy. And if you know what kind of fats to use, that can be a great source of energy. And you find over time, as your insulin sensitivity increases, you don't need to have a lot of carbs. It's all about teaching your body to adapt to using fats. And once you do, you'll have the best workouts ever. Guaranteed. Another way to do this is to use carb cycling. So this is another advanced method that I use in my, or rather I teach you guys in my Fit and Lean Dad Fat Loss ebook. So it refers to cycling your carbs rather than using the same amount of carbs. You utilize different amounts of carbs. We use different amounts of carbs over the 7 days. So you can go 2 days high carbs, and the other days you can go 5 days lower. There are several different ways of utilizing carb cycling. Another way to lose the belly fat is to cut out simple sugars and fruit juices. And fruit. Just going to look and see what time we are. Okay, so simple sugars and fruit juices. In fruit juices, you have what's called high fructose corn syrup. Now, high fructose corn syrup is highly processed, and they use it in a lot of fruit, and they use it in fruit juices. And the problem with that is that it's not metabolized in the intestines. So what happens is it goes straight to your liver. And we spoke about the liver glycogen before, and that only holds a certain amount. Once they're full, then the extra goes into your fat cells. So this is what happens. It goes directly into your liver without being metabolized, and it gets stored there. It doesn't go to your muscles. So it's just going to keep topping up your levels of fat in the liver, or rather, you're going to top up your levels of fat if you're going to keep increasing the level of glycogen in the liver and the muscles that are using. But the fructose doesn't get into the muscle cells. So the simple sugars, some of it gets excreted and gets metabolized in the small intestines. Anything that's not needed gets excreted. But then what happens is, like I said, you'll get increased levels of body fat and increased levels of triglycerides. Point number 3 is eat lean protein with every meal. Eat lean. We've spoken about the benefits of protein. Again, the protein is the most thermogenic micronutrient out of all the 3. Protein releases a hormone called glucagon, which pulls the fat out of the cells and utilizes it for energy. Glucagon is the antagonist of insulin. So when glucagon is high, insulin is low. When insulin is high, glucagon is low. Protein also keeps you full for longer, and protein keeps the muscles on your body. Okay, so roughly about 20-30% of all the protein calories are lost in heat in digestion. So you can eat protein, and it's very, very difficult to put on body fat from just eating protein. Alright guys, I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to download your free gift, which is 20 foods that increase your growth hormone and testosterone levels naturally. Leave me a comment below on what you want to watch next, and I'll do my best, and hit the like button. See you soon. Bye for now.